Before we begin, I'd like to ask you a simple question. If someone asked you today, "Are you aging well?" what would your answer be? Most people immediately think about wrinkles, gray hair, or the number on their birthday cake. But after more than 40 years of caring for older adults, I've learned something very different. Healthy aging has very little to do with your age. I've met people in their 80s who still travel, garden, and enjoy life with remarkable energy. And I've also cared for people 20 years younger who struggle with everyday tasks. So what makes the difference? It isn't luck, and it certainly isn't about having perfect genes. It's the small abilities your body quietly protects over time. As a family physician, there are a few simple signs I notice almost immediately when I meet a patient. These signs often tell me far more than blood tests or birthdays ever could. Today, I'd like to share 7 of those signs with you. They're simple. You can even check most of them yourself at home. And by the end of this video, you'll have a much clearer picture of how well your body is really aging. So, let's begin with the very first sign. The first sign has nothing to do with wrinkles, gray hair, or even your blood pressure. It's something I notice within seconds of meeting a new patient. I simply watch how they walk into the room. Their walking speed, their balance, the confidence in each step. These small details can reveal a surprising amount about overall health. A steady, comfortable walking pace often reflects healthy muscles, flexible joints, good balance, and strong communication between the brain and the rest of the body. On the other hand, when someone begins taking shorter steps, moving more cautiously, or hesitating before turning, it may be a sign that their body needs more attention. Of course, everyone walks differently, and many medical conditions can affect mobility. But in healthy aging, the ability to move with confidence remains one of the strongest signs of independence. So here's a simple question. When you walk across your living room, do you feel steady, or do you find yourself reaching for furniture more often than you used to? That answer may tell you more than you think. The second sign is so simple that many people underestimate it. Yet it's one of the first things many physicians observe when evaluating strength and mobility in older adults. Here's the test. Sit comfortably in a sturdy chair. Place both feet flat on the floor. Now, if it's safe for you to do so, try standing up without pushing off the armrests or using your hands. If you can stand smoothly and feel steady afterward, that's often a good sign that your leg muscles are still doing their job well. Why does this matter? Because every time you stand up, your body relies on strong thighs, healthy hips, good balance, and clear communication between your brain and muscles. As we grow older, maintaining this strength helps us stay active, confident, and independent. If this movement feels more difficult than it used to, don't panic. It doesn't necessarily mean something is wrong. It simply tells us that building and maintaining lower body strength deserves a little more attention. Sometimes the smallest movements tell us the biggest stories about healthy aging. Let me ask you another question. Have you ever walked into a room and suddenly forgotten why you were there? If so, you're certainly not alone. In fact, almost everyone experiences this from time to time. But here's what many people don't realize. Forgetting once in a while isn't necessarily a sign of serious memory problems. Sometimes your brain is simply distracted. It may be processing several thoughts at once, making it harder to recall the original task. What matters more is whether those moments become more frequent over time, or begin interfering with your daily life. Healthy aging doesn't mean remembering every tiny detail. It means your brain can still organize information, solve everyday problems, and return to the task after a brief pause. The goal isn't perfection. It's staying mentally engaged, staying curious, and continuing to challenge your brain every single day. A healthy mind isn't measured by perfect memory. It's measured by how well it continues to adapt. Here's a question I often ask my patients. After climbing a flight of stairs, carrying groceries, or taking a brisk walk, how long does it take you to feel like yourself again? Many people focus only on whether they can finish an activity. But as a physician, I'm just as interested in what happens afterward. Does your breathing settle within a minute or two? Does your heart rate gradually return to normal? Do your legs feel ready to keep moving? Healthy recovery is a sign that several body systems are working together. Your heart, your lungs, your muscles, and your nervous system. Recovery doesn't have to be perfect, and everyone slows down a little with age. But if you notice that simple activities leave you exhausted for a long time, or you need much longer to recover than you used to, it's worth paying attention. Sometimes your body is simply asking for more movement, better sleep, better nutrition, or a conversation with your healthcare provider. Aging well isn't about never getting tired. It's about how well your body bounces back. Here's something that surprises many of my patients. Sometimes one of the simplest ways to understand how well someone is aging is to shake their hand. That may sound unusual, but grip strength has been studied for many years because it often reflects overall muscle function throughout the body. Think about everything your hands do each day: opening a jar, carrying groceries, holding a grandchild's hand, buttoning a shirt. These everyday tasks depend on strength, coordination, and healthy nerves. As we grow older, it's normal to lose some muscle mass, but staying active can help slow that process. If you've noticed that opening jars or carrying everyday items has become much harder than it used to be, don't ignore it. It doesn't automatically mean something is seriously wrong, but it may be your body's way of reminding you that your muscles need regular use. The good news? Muscles respond remarkably well to gentle, consistent activity, even later in life. Your body is often more adaptable than you think. Let's move on to the sixth sign. It may seem surprisingly simple, but it tells us a great deal about healthy aging. Here's the question. Can you stand on one leg for about 10 seconds? Before you try, please make sure you're standing next to a sturdy chair or a kitchen counter for support if you need it. Safety always comes first. Balance isn't controlled by just one part of the body. Your brain, your eyes, your inner ear, your nerves, your muscles, and your joints all work together every second to keep you upright. That's why even a small change in balance can sometimes be an early sign that one of those systems needs a little extra attention. If you can comfortably balance for around 10 seconds, that's encouraging. If not, don't be discouraged. Balance can often improve with regular practice and appropriate exercise. The goal isn't to be perfect. The goal is to stay confident every time you stand, walk, or turn around, because confidence in movement is one of the greatest gifts of healthy aging. We've reached the final sign, and in my experience, it may be the most important one of all. It can't be measured with a blood test. You won't find it on an X-ray, and no medical device can calculate it. Let me ask you a simple question. When you wake up in the morning, is there something you're looking forward to? Maybe it's walking your dog, calling a friend, working in your garden, reading to your grandchildren, or simply enjoying a quiet cup of coffee as the sun comes up. Those moments may seem ordinary, but they give our days meaning. Over the years, I've noticed something remarkable. People who stay curious, stay connected, and continue finding purpose in everyday life often remain active and engaged much longer. Healthy aging isn't only about protecting your body. It's also about protecting your relationships, your routines, and the things that make you smile when a new day begins. Sometimes the strongest medicine isn't found in a bottle. It's found in a meaningful life shared with others. Now that we've gone through all 7 signs together, I'd like you to take a quiet moment and think about your own answers. How many of these signs describe you today? Maybe you felt confident with most of them. Or perhaps 1 or 2 stood out as areas you'd like to improve. Either way, remember this. This isn't a test that you pass or fail. It's simply a snapshot of where you are today. Healthy aging isn't about being stronger than everyone else. It's about staying just a little stronger, a little steadier, a little more curious than you were yesterday. Even 1 small improvement can make everyday life easier over time. If one of these 7 signs challenged you today, don't see it as bad news. See it as a place where you can begin. Because the remarkable thing about the human body is this: it continues to adapt throughout life. With regular movement, good nutrition, quality sleep, and meaningful connections, your body can often become stronger than you expect. Healthy aging isn't about turning back the clock. It's about making the years ahead as active and independent as possible. Before we say goodbye, I'd like to share one final thought with you. Over the years, I've met many older adults who believed they had waited too long. They would often say, "Dr. Sam, I wish I had started taking better care of myself years ago." My answer was always the same. The best time to start may have been years ago, but the second best time is today. Healthy aging isn't about becoming the strongest person in the room. It's about giving yourself the best chance to enjoy tomorrow a little more than yesterday. 1 short walk, 1 balanced meal, 1 phone call to someone you care about, 1 good night's sleep. Those small choices may seem ordinary, but repeated over weeks, months, and years, they become something extraordinary. Remember, you don't have to change your entire life overnight. You simply have to keep moving in the right direction. Because healthy aging isn't measured by your age, it's measured by the life you're still able to enjoy. Before you leave, I'd like to give you one final challenge. It only takes about 30 seconds. No special equipment, no medical training, just a few honest questions. Ask yourself, can I walk with confidence? Can I stand up from a chair without struggling? Can I recover well after a short walk? Do my hands still feel strong during everyday tasks? Can I keep my balance safely? Am I still learning new things? And perhaps most importantly, do I still have something to look forward to tomorrow? If you answered yes to most of those questions, you're already doing many things right. If 1 or 2 answers made you pause, don't be discouraged. That's simply where your next chapter begins. Healthy aging isn't about proving how strong you are today. It's about protecting the life you want to keep living tomorrow. Thank you for spending this time with me today. I hope these 7 simple signs help you better understand your own health. Remember, you don't have to be perfect. You just have to keep moving forward. If you'd like more practical science-based tips for staying healthy, active, and independent after 60, I'd love to have you join our community. Until next time, take good care of yourself and never stop investing in your health.